Hello and welcome to the Heart to Handle Sports Podcast. This is episode 103. Happy September, guys. We made it to September, and what a way to start with two breaking news today. Welcome to the news of Russell Wilson getting extended by the Broncos, and we kind of expected that when he got traded there. It was like, it's all the stuff they gave up to get him. They're for surely going to re-sign him, extend him, and we get that today. He signs a 5-year, $245 million extension, $165 guaranteed. We'll talk about that. And if that wasn't enough for today, Donovan Mitchell finally gets his trade, and it's not to the Knicks, it's to the Cavs. The Cavs are going to be good. Are they going to be legit title contenders? Probably not right away. They still probably need one more piece, but it's a good trade for the Cavs. The Jazz completely blow it up. They've traded their two franchise centerpieces. They're going to do a full rebuild. We'll talk about that too. We also got to talk about day 2 and day 3 of the U.S. Open. It's in full swing. Day 4 is currently going on right now. We're in the latter stages of day 4, but I just wanted to talk about day 2, day 3 real quick. Then I'll make a separate episode about today, day 4. And then let's also talk about the Premier League match day 5. United win their 3rd straight game. They are now 9 points. After losing their first 2, they have definitely bounced back. They look better. They are playing this Leicester team that's fighting for relegation right now. They look terrible, but good for Manchester. They seem to be back on track. Also, Liverpool squeaked out a victory. Wolves are struggling mightily. Chelsea's struggling. Free Pulisic. But all of that on this episode of the Heart to Handle Sports Podcast. Let's get started. So we wake up this morning to the news that the Broncos and Russell Wilson have agreed to a 5-year, $245 million extension, $165 million guaranteed, and now they have him for the next 7 years for $296 million. Massive deal. Obviously, you got to hit up the group chats. You wake up. I'm waking up. This was like, how long ago was it? It was like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Group chat's going off. Everyone's talking about it. At first, I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. Then I compared it to the Aaron Rodgers deal. Then I compared it to Deshaun Watson, and then compared it to Kyler Murray. And I'm like, all right, it was a decent amount of money. I feel like he definitely could have gotten more with the leverage that he had, with the new owner that he has with the Broncos, with all the assets that they gave up to get him. Like, they're definitely going to just pay him and give him like a deal. He could have probably gotten more guaranteed money. I know Lamar Jackson's fighting for a fully guaranteed deal. This probably doesn't help him. And it just seems 7 years over 296. It's like, by all means, it's great. It's amazing. But if you look at it on the per year basis, he's making about, 44 a year over the 7 years. And it looks like the last 4 years are not guaranteed. So, or the last 3 years are not guaranteed. The first 4 are. So we'll see how this plays out. All I know is that they're going all in. Right now, Russell Wilson's 33. The years that are not guaranteed are the last 3, I believe. So he'll be 37 at that time. So we'll see how these next 4 years go. If Russell Wilson actually makes it to the end of this contract when he'll be 40. NFL quarterbacks, now more than ever, they could play till they're 40. Like, they're definitely, this is the era where they've been protected the most, where they take the less hits, where it seems like they take better care of their body too. So with the rule changes, with like the way they take care of themselves, with all this new technology and science that's going into preserving your body, I could definitely see Russell Wilson making it to the end of this contract, or at least playing till he's 40. I don't know if he'll make it to the end of this contract. I have to believe somewhere along the lines it'll get restructured. That's usually what happens with these long deals. But overall, it's a great deal for Russell Wilson. It's a great deal for the Broncos. I believe, from what I'm reading, they did have a lot of cap space for this year, so they front-loaded some of this. And he gets a pay raise for this year, so it's all good. It's good for Russell Wilson. It's good for the Broncos. Like right here, it says that, they gave him a $33 million raise in 2022 from $24 million to $57. He gets $85 million over the first 2 years, and then he gets $124 over the first 3 years. Oh, he has 4 non-guaranteed years. So this might just be a 3-year deal when it's all said and done. And he had 2 years left. So I don't know. I think Russell Wilson, like the first three, the money that he's getting these 3 years, he'll be 36. Maybe Russell Wilson thinks when he's 36, he could get a better deal. But yeah, Tom Pelissero is basically saying that with Aaron Rodgers getting 150 over 3 years, Deshaun Watson getting 138, Kyler Murray getting 106, Russell Wilson getting 124 over 3 years is, probably not the hottest deal for a guy in his position. But yeah, if you look at the highest average salary per year, now Russell Wilson is 49, Aaron Rodgers 50.3, Kyler Murray 46, Deshaun Watson 46, Patrick Mahomes 45, Josh Allen 43, Derek Carr 40. That's crazy. 3 of the top 7 quarterbacks in average salary now play in the AFC West. And you got to imagine it's going to be 4 out of the next 8. Derek Carr is still 7th. So if you add Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, to keep Derek Carr in there, you're going to have to, push him down, change the stat to 8. So basically 4 out of the top 8 once. Well, actually, it might change because Lamar Jackson and all these other quarterbacks. But as of now, 3 of the top 7 quarterbacks are in the AFC West, which is crazy. And what do you guys think? What are you guys' reaction? My first thoughts was like, damn, that's a lot of money. Then I was like, he probably could have gotten more. And then it all came down to, damn, Patrick Mahomes hooked up the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, he hooked them up, like, big time. And people were talking about that deal was going to look good in 5, 6, 7 years. Like, because all the contracts, we didn't even have to wait that long. It's year 3 or 2, year 3, I think, of his 10-year extension, and it already looks amazing. It already looks like the contract of the century. And either Patrick Mahomes just loves KC and trusts that organization are gonna, make him right at some point, or he was a little naive, which is what a lot of people said when he got that big contract, because it did look huge, 450 over 10 years. But like Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers are getting paid more than him this year. That's crazy. Even the Josh Allen deal looks a little good now. 43. Like, it's crazy that it's all just timing. It's all just when you're up, like, you get paid more, which is crazy. But what do you guys think about this deal? I mean, it doesn't really change anything for this year. Like, it's not like Russell Wilson was gonna leave, or like, he was on his final year, so is he gonna play less motivated? There's some deals where, like, now that they signed him for 7 years, he's gonna play more relaxed. He has that contract security. Like, we all kind of knew he was gonna be set, and they were gonna give him a deal. So I don't think this really changes anything for this year or the next few years. If anything, it might change something with KC. Like, how many more contracts till Patrick Mahomes is like, hey, it's time to restructure my deal. Like, yeah, it was gravy. It's all good. I know I signed it, but I am this team. I'm the franchise. I run the city. Like, give me more money. And I think everyone will agree that he deserves it. But the second news that of today that was very interesting, that caught everyone's attention in the sports world, is Donovan Mitchell gets traded from the Jazz to the Cavs. Sorry, Knicks fans. I know you guys were pumped up. There were some people that were probably already ordering jerseys with Mitchell on the back. But unfortunately, he's going to the Cavs. He joins a young cast. The starting lineup projected is looking like Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, with Ricky Rubio, LeVert, Osman, and Kevin Love on the bench. That's a very solid team. Is it a real title contender? Is it a team that could push for the Eastern Conference Finals? Possibly. Can they realistically compete with the Warriors and some of these West teams for the championship? Probably not. They're still a piece away, in my opinion. But they're definitely on the right track. Cavs are making some moves. It's good for them. The full trade details are Donovan Mitchell goes to Cleveland, and the Jazz get Lauri Markkanen, Ochai Agbaji, Colin Sexton, 3 unprotected first-round picks, and 2 pick swaps. And Sexton, who I believe was a free agent, did agree to a sign and trade to join Utah. So there you go. Good luck to Sexton, Utah. We'll see if Lauren Markkinen, I believe on like his fourth team now, could like get something done, and the rest we'll see what happens. Unprotected first round picks, 2 pick swaps. Now the Jazz really have like a lot of stuff to work with. Like if you look at what they got for Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, you get Malik Beasley, THT, because they flipped Patrick Beverly, Stanley Johnson, Bamaro, Walker Kessler, Vanderbilt, Markkinen, Agbaji, Sexton, a 23 first round pick, a 25 first round picks, 2026 pick swaps, a 2027 first round picks, a 28 pick swap, and 29 first round picks. Like that's crazy. They basically after 2023 and then 2024. But I still think they have their own picks. So they're gonna have 2 picks in 23, 1 pick in 24, 3 picks in 25, pick swaps in 26, which they could like just keep on flipping, and then 3 picks in 27, 3 picks in 29. That's crazy. A lot of them have protections, but we'll see. This is crazy, man. The Jazz got a lot. And, that's Danny Ainge working his magic with the Jazz. We'll see if anything happens. We'll see if anything happens in the Jazz in the next few years. Like, this is a full rebuild. Like, this is not, like, no small rebuild. They blew the team up. But, like, we'll see how bad they are this year. But the future, they're running that OKC strategy. They're trying to build as many draft capital as you can and build through the draft, or just have enough picks where eventually one of these disgruntled stars is going to want out and you're going to have picks to trade for them. But yeah, we'll see how the Jazz approach works. I think they had to do this. I think this is the right things to do because Donovan Mitchell and Gobert were just not. They had a ceiling. They had a clear ceiling, and it was like the second round, at most the conference final. But they could never, like them two as the main stars, could never win it for the Jazz. And I'm just sorry. That was a hard truth. But yeah, so I think this is the right way. They had to do this. 7 first round picks, 3 first round swaps, and a bunch of players that are probably going to get waived. Some of them are rookies, so they'll probably get playing time. A lot of them might get waived. I'm looking at like Stanley Johnson, who did good with the Lakers, but he's probably one of those like on waive alert. Lauri Markkinen on his 3rd, 4th team. We'll see how they do. But I think the real question should shift to Cleveland. They should like Woj says, they had a 3-time All-Star, 3 years left, and they have Jared Allen, 2 other All-Stars, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and a future All-Star in Evan Mobley. Like Evan Mobley is the truth. Like they could really have like 4 like really young players. Jared Allen, as far as like a center that's gonna play like defend the rim and play above the rim, be a good pick and roll player, he's probably one of the better ones. He's probably one of the elite ones. How important is that in today's NBA? Just a big rim protecting, pick and roll running center that could switch on people. We'll see. If he could develop a shot, then it'll be nasty. But like I said, I like their team. Their team looks good. Their team has a lot of potential. Like as it stands right now, I don't think they are title contenders. But like I said, they are very young and they have a lot of potential. So if any of these players takes that step, and even Donovan Mitchell, I think, could still take another step. Like he could improve his defense. He could have a more consistent 3. Like Donovan Mitchell by no means is a made player already. Like he's great. He's a 3-time All-Star, and I love Donovan Mitchell, but he could definitely still get better, especially if they space the floor a little bit more for him, if they have more athletic players playing with him, and they have other people that can handle the ball. Like it's not just always Donovan Mitchell. Like the Cleveland Cavaliers could be a problem. They could definitely be a problem. So I'm happy for the Cavaliers. It's a good trade. And like I said, as of today, because you never know if players are going to improve, they're going to stay stagnant. I don't think they're legit NBA Finals contenders. But like I said, like who's to say Darius Garland and Jared Allen don't get better? Donovan Mitchell doesn't get better. Evan Mobley gets better. It's like, come on. Like, they could definitely take like a step forward. They're very young. And then boom, they're right there. As of right now, I got to see that improvement first. But we'll check back on this. For both sides. I think both sides are low-key legit winners. Like for the Cavaliers, they get a proven all-star, proven star in the league who has done amazing stuff in the playoffs. Maybe not the last 2 seasons, but in the bubble, and I think the year before, he was like amazing in the playoffs. And they get someone to lead these rookies, and we'll see if any of these rookies end up, or not rookies, but younger players end up surpassing Donovan Mitchell and maybe taking that alpha role from him. And then we'll see how far they go. But overall, I think it's a good trade for both of them. The Jazz finally get something for Donovan Mitchell. They finally blow it up. We'll see what happens over there. And for Cleveland, I think they get a great player to lead these younger players. And we'll see how it goes. It's going to be fun. The East is definitely getting better. And I'm just excited for the season. And we are currently in day 4 of the U.S. Open. We have a lot to talk about in day 4. Alcaraz looked amazing. But I quickly wanted to go over day 2 and day 3. There's some stuff that I've been wanting to get off my chest. I just wanted to talk about. Hopefully you guys want to hear about it. But yeah, let's get to it. Day 2 was on Tuesday, and Schwartzman defeated Jack Sock. I wanted to touch on this real quick because I do feel for Sock. He played an amazing match up until, his fitness. Those nagging injuries came back to get him again, and he had to retire. After winning 6-3 and 7-5 and looking amazing against Schwartzman, he gets bageled in the third, and you kind of see it coming. It's the writing's on the wall. You're like, not again, man. Not again for this guy who struggled with injuries, who's looked good this year, who's played a lot of matches, actually, who's played a lot of double matches. He won DC with Kyrgios, and he looked good. And he was looking good against Schwartzman, the number 14 seed, and you're like, okay, like this is the Jack Sock we know. And then he got hurt, and you're like, yeah, this is the Jack Sock we know too. And it's just sad, man. I hope Jack Sock is nothing serious, and I hope he gets back, hopefully like soon. And like this offseason, I think Jack Sock just needs to work on that fitness. Like we've seen Jack Sock be hurt and come back, and he's still a quality player. So he could miss time for injury and where he's not practicing as much on his racket, and he's still a very quality player. So maybe this offseason he could probably relax a little bit with the racket and just work on his fitness, just get as fit as he can. I'm thinking like Fish from that documentary on Netflix, who is now I think the captain for the U.S. team in the Davis Cup. Like he was just he never fulfilled his potential, and then he just took tennis seriously and got super fit, and then he made it like far, and he was like the number 1 player. Marty Fish, if you guys haven't seen that documentary, it's great. But yeah, that's the comparison that I kind of see with Jack Sock. Like, bro, just hit the gym, get fit, just get super fucking fit, and then we could tell that you're already an amazing tennis player. But thankfully, Jack Sock's not the oldest player. I know these injuries are super, super, super annoying, but hopefully we see him back on tour this year, and he keeps playing great. Another thing that happened on Tuesday, Nadal played against Chiquita in the first round. Lost the first set. Was a little scary for us Nadal fans, but he quickly turned it around the second, 1-6-2, 1-6-3, and 1-6-3 in the fourth to close it out. Good for Nadal, who plays today, actually. I'll talk about that in a little bit or later on, but he did look good. Nadal, who hasn't lost a U.S. Open match since 2019, looked good. Like I said, the first set was something else. After that, he corrected himself, and he won comfortably. And we'll see how far he goes. Like I said, there's a lot of big players out already. Like a lot of big players. Like Felix lost. My boy Fritz lost. Tsitsipas lost. Maybe they're not on his path, but like I said, the field is getting a lot of upsets. My boy Tiafoe beat Jerome in straight sets. So good for Tiafoe. I like that. Shapovalov won. This is all on Tuesday, so just make sure day 2. We're just recapping day 2 real quick. Hurkacz won. Fognini won. Sets up a match with Nadal. He's the last person. He's the only person to be down 2 sets against Nadal in a major and come back and win. I believe that's the stat that I read. It might be the U.S. Open, but I think it's overall. So that should be a good one. Brooksby beat Lokjovic. Musetti wins. Sinner wins. Is there any who else? Rublev won, and I believe he won today again too. So congrats for Isner. Isner won, and he hurt his wrist, so that was very unfortunate for Isner. He did have to retire. He did have to exit the tournament, even though he did win the bonus. He did beat the bonus in straight sets. Alcaraz looked good against Baez. Baez had to retire too, but it was two of the best sets in the tournament. Cameron Norrie beat Ben Poir, and it was just Cameron Norrie showed his class. And on Wednesday, day 3 of the U.S. Open, Medvedev wins. Felix, the number 6 seed, gets beat in straight sets, and it's more of the same with Felix. Like, when is he gonna get it together? Like, he was defending semifinal points too, and he just loses in the second round. So his ranking's gonna fall off. What do you guys think about Felix? Is he ever gonna get it together and win a major? He's still 21, so he still has a long way to go, or 22 now. But he still has a long way to go. But you expect him to go deeper, more consistently in these tournaments. And yesterday was not his day. He loses. Kyrgios looked good. Wins in 4 sets against Bonzi. Kyrgios is always an entertainment. Like, I think all the fans, from what I was seeing on TV, looked very, very happy with the entertainment. Obviously, Kyrgios did what Kyrgios does. He berates him, but he's going through some stuff too. It doesn't excuse his behavior sometimes on court. But I did see his Instagram post, something about his mom. Happy birthday to his mom, and how he misses her, and he wishes he could be there. And it's just tough being an Australian and traveling, like having this much travel as an Aussie. It's pretty insane. Tommy Paul beats Korda in a battle of Americans. Like, I'm still waiting for Korda to maybe get a little better. I actually really like his game, and he seems to be very up and down. I think right now he's down. His ranking's kind of slipping a little bit. Hopefully he could turn it around. Andy Murray looks great again in the second round. After losing the first set to the American Nava, he takes the next 3, 6-3, 6-1, 6-0. This is the first time he's made it to the third round of the U.S. Open in like 6 years, I believe. So good for Andy Murray. I'm a big Andy Murray fan, and I'm happy. I'm happy to see him. He sets up a scintillating, tasteful match against Berrettini. Hopefully you guys watch that. I think it's going to be a great match tomorrow on Friday. And what else? Bublik is out. He's always entertainment too. Sometimes he doesn't care enough about tennis, but he lost to Pablo Carreño, and Deminar gets through, defeating Garin. And on the women's side, unfortunately, on Tuesday, day 2, Naomi Osaka did lose to Collins in straight sets. Osaka, I don't know what she has to do, but she has really been struggling as of late. And she gets out in the first round. I think this is the first year in 3 years that she's not going to win a major. I think since 2019 is the first year that she's not going to at least win one in a calendar year. So that's crazy. Emma Raducanu loses in the first round too to Comet. Her ranking's going to slip. I think she's going from 11 or 14 to 80s. In the 80s, she was defending championship points. So that's a lot of points. She's going to drop a lot. Maybe this would do her some good, because all that pressure from winning the U.S. Open and having that high ranking and being the favorite in every match, it could be a lot for someone as young as her. So we'll see. Unfortunate for Raducanu. I did want to see her go far, but now she falls to the rankings. My girl Paula Badosa goes through. Spoiler alert, she loses today, but this is about day 2 and day 3. And then for day 3, let's talk about day 3 real quick since it's more recent. Leylah Fernandez loses in the second round, so she's going to fall rankings a lot too. She was defending final points, and she gets eliminated in the second round. More of the same as Raducanu. I think she's been doing a little better. Actually, she has more wins since the U.S. Open of last year, but I think it's more of the same. They're very young, and they had all this pressure from both of their amazing runs at the U.S. Open last year, and Now that they're going to lose all those points, yeah, it sucks. Their ranking's going to go way lower, but I think they're going into tournaments now with less pressure. They're going to be one of the lower seeds in these tournaments, so they're going to have tougher matchups. So they might go on some losing streaks, which it's the growing pains of the tour. So unfortunate to see both of them bow out of the tournament so quickly in round 1 and round 2. But it is what it is, and it's part of the growing pains. And I hope both of them have the mental fortitude to just keep it pushing and keep it going, because they do look like budding stars, and we'll see how they bounce back from this. But the main story from day 3 on the women's side is Serena Williams defeats the second seed in 3 sets. They go the distance. She wins a crucial tiebreak in the first set, loses 6-2 in the second set. And you figured that, okay, maybe she's running out of legs. Maybe Kontaveit could turn this around, and she's gonna see it through. And this is it for Serena Williams. But like the warrior that she is, she comes back in the third set and wins it 6-2, getting energy from the stadium, getting energy from New York, from Arthur Ashe Stadium, and she got it done. So 2 down, what is it, like 4 to go if she was to win this whole thing. So Serena Williams makes it to the third round. She plays tomorrow. It's going to be electric. It's going to be amazing if she somehow wins the third round, because she's playing the second seed, so she kind of takes over the path for that second seed. So we'll see if she got over this hurdle. She might be able to get over some of these upcoming hurdles, and we could potentially see Serena Williams in a Cinderella story to end this magical story of hers in like the most amazing way ever. Like, I'm already getting giddy just thinking of her making it to the finals, making it deep into the tournament. Like, how crazy that would be. And like the GOAT of her, she was obviously never gonna lose in the first round or the second round. Like, this is who Serena Williams is. I'm super pumped up. She makes it through to the third round, and we'll see how she does on Friday. Also, Coco Gauff wins again on Arthur Ashe Stadium, rocking those new shoes that she has. If you haven't seen them, they're freaking fire, especially the 90s edition ones with the lime green and the red and the blue. Those are super nice. But yeah, that should do it for day 2 and day 3. That's kind of what happened. I just quickly wanted to talk on it. But yeah, what have your thoughts been on day 2 and day 3 of the US Open? Has it been living up to your expectations? For me, as long as Serena Williams is going through, and Nadal, hopefully, this is already an amazing US Open. And today, Serena Williams and Venus are scheduled to play doubles. So stick around for my coverage of day 4. We'll talk about what happens in day 4. But that's what's been going on at the US Open for day 2 and day 3. Day 4 is currently going on right now. So if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, make sure to subscribe, follow the podcast, and stay tuned on my YouTube channel just to make sure when that video for day 4 comes out, because day 4 has already had some surprises, and it's already like a very entertaining day 4. But yeah, day 2 and day 3 were amazing. This US Open keeps chugging along. I'm super pumped. Still super pumped for the US Open. This is like one of the best times of the years. I'm so happy that I'm into so many sports, because there's a lot of times of the year where I'm like super happy, like, oh my God, it's the end of August, beginning of September. The US Open is here. And then the NFL season's about to start. And then next month is like the NBA season's here. And then the World Cup is here. And it's just so many moments every month where I'm just like, yes, I'm so glad I'm into so many sports. But it's also so hard to keep up with everything. And, maybe some of you guys could relate to this. Or maybe you guys just like tennis. And that's pretty good too, because tennis is year round and there's a lot of tournaments and it goes all over the world. So you might like, oh, I might plan a trip here. Regardless, let's keep it moving. Today, the Premier League Matchday 5 concluded, and man, the table looks pretty interesting. Arsenal stay perfect. They win. They're 5 for 5, 15 points. Man City look amazing. They only have 1 draw, 13 points, 4 wins. Tottenham draw again, 11 points. They're number 3. Brighton loses, but they're still a top 4. United, with their 3rd straight victory, climbed to 5th. Liverpool, 2nd straight victory. They now have 8 points. Leeds, they've been stumbling a little bit, but they're still 7th. And then Fulham, Southampton, Chelsea at 10 are struggling. Newcastle, 12. They probably deserve a little bit better than 12th. And then Brentford 11th, Crystal Palace 13th, West Ham 14th. Nottingham Forest 15, Bournemouth 16, Everton 17th. My Wolves at 18, who have been disgusting, despicable. Got to talk about them in a little bit. Aston Villa 19th and Leicester at 20th. That's how the table looks after 5 match days. But match day 5 was a good one. Manchester United win the 3rd in a row. That match just concluded about an hour ago. It wasn't a perfect game, wasn't amazing. You expected them to beat Leicester, with Leicester just struggling mightily right now. And they get it done. Manchester United win 1-0. Sancho scores. Good for him. Leicester it just feels like they're nosediving into relegation. But two tales of two teams. United going up, climbing the table. They're now 5th. Who would have thought after their first 2 losses were disgusting and just embarrassing, and it was like the worst start for a United team ever. Like, I don't know if that's actually true, but that's literally how it felt. It felt like everything was just caving in on United, and this was the end. Like, this was it. Like, Glazers are gonna have to sell. United is a small team now. They're just, and that could still be true, but now with 3 straight victories, they are now 5 on the table, which is not bad after 5 games. And Liverpool squeak out a victory against Newcastle. That was tough on Newcastle, like to get the extra time, and then, or the additional minutes that they add, stoppage time, and then to go over that for almost 2 minutes, and that's when you give up the goal. That has to be a crucial way to lose to Liverpool, and I can see why they would be mad, and they'll be rushing to the ref and telling him like, "Yo, why did we play so much over the time?" But I could also see Newcastle was time wasting. They were, doing their little tactics and being smart about it and trying to waste as much time. So I can see why the ref played over. But it's just unfortunate. Newcastle are going to be a problem this year, and especially with their signing of Isaac, however you say it. He's amazing. He's a good signing, Swedish player. I think his game fits perfectly for the Premier League. He's a pacey player. He could control his body. I've seen him play for Sweden, and he's a dog. He's great. He looked dangerous the whole game, the whole time he was on for Newcastle, and he should have had a second one, but he was just a tad bit offsides. And for Liverpool, not the prettiest of games. Like, Matt has been on the show, and he's a big Liverpool fan, and he basically summed it up with not good enough, and it's true, not good enough. We'll see if it'll be good enough the rest of the season, but I don't think it will, because City look amazing. Haaland looks amazing. And let's just talk about them. They thoroughly dispatched Nottingham Forest 6-0. It was over when it started. Like, that was just textbook beatdown. Haaland gets his second. Erling Haaland gets his second hat trick in 2 weeks. He has 9 goals in 5 games. And the scoring started in the 12th minute, and it ended in the 38th minute for Haaland, who just looked amazing. He's the menace, who just seems to be at the perfect place at the right time. And he's such a physical stature up front. He's such a presence. He's so big. He's so fast. He's so strong. Like, City's going to be a problem this year, and I kind of said that at the beginning of the season. Like, I thoroughly expected City to be a problem this year just because of Haaland. Like, I know they're used to playing that little false 9 and putting midfielders up there and just putting people out of their position. And I know that's Pep's whole thing, and I know it's worked to perfection with Barcelona, but it never really worked amazingly with City. Yeah, they got the results, but that was mostly because of just the massive amount of talent they have. Now they have a legit number 9, one of the best 9s in the world, and he's thriving, and he looks amazing. And that whole team is just so deep. It's crazy. City are going to run away with the league, and they're going to be able to focus on Champions League, and that's going to be a scary sight. Julian Alvarez scores 2-2. Who's the backup? The backup for Haaland, just scoring goals for fun too. Obviously, they're playing Nottingham Forest, who did spend a lot of money this offseason, but it is Forest. So take it with a grain of salt. But Man City have started the season on a rampage, and I know Arsenal is playing great, and we'll talk about them right now, but it's gonna be a tough ask of Arsenal to keep this 2-point advantage on City. It's gonna be a tough ask. But we'll see if they're able to do it, because they were able to squeak out a victory 2-1 against Aston Villa. They get it done. In the 77th minute, Gabriel Martinelli gets the winner. Gabriel Jesus scores another one. Gabriel Jesus is amazing, and I've touched about this on the episode with Matt about how I think Brazil are going to be the team to watch at the World Cup, because before I like their talent everywhere, but I just thought they didn't really have a goal scorer, and that's kind of like a natural striker goal scorer, and that's kind of been their weakness in the last few World Cups. Like you see them going into it with like Fred, like the World Cup, the 2014 World Cup, Fred was starting, and 2018 World Cup, I can't even tell you. Yeah, they had Firmino, but he's not the most goal scoring number 9. He's like a facilitator. He's kind of like builds it up. He helps others score almost as much as he scores himself. With Gabriel Jesus peaking right now with the World Cup ahead, like you should be scared for Brazil. But anyways, Arsenal look good. They get another victory. They're perfect. They stay perfect in the league, and we'll see how this plays out. Right now, Arteta looks like he's completely shifted this team, and there has been an influx of money into that team, so that's good to see that these transfers are paying their dividends. And that's mostly it for match day 5. Just obviously, I'm missing 2 actually. Chelsea lose to Southampton 2-1. Like the wheels are coming off the wagon for Chelsea. Like what's going on over there? They've never really played like amazing football. Like it's never been like super fun to watch Chelsea, but they would always get results, and they would play tough defense. And now they're getting scored on, and they're still not playing the most eye-appealing football, and they're losing. But maybe it's just a slow start. Right now they're 10th in the Premier League table, and who have they played? They played Southampton, they played Leicester, they played Leeds, they tied against Tottenham, they beat Everton. And so it's not the toughest of schedules to have 10 points and to lose against, they beat Leicester. I'm sorry, but they already beat the worst team in the division. They got West Ham coming up, Fulham. They got Liverpool in a little bit. Chelsea got to turn around. They got to play my boy Pulisic a little bit more, even though he's been struggling as of late too. But we're speaking about struggling. Let's talk about the Wolves. Let's talk about my Wolves, who currently sit in 18th place with 0 victories. 0 victories this whole tournament, this whole 5 weeks of the season. Everton, Wolves, and Leicester are the only teams that have not at least gotten 1 victory in 5 games. It's just sad. It's sad because like they've made moves. Like they got some players. Like what's going on? Why can't we win? Why can't the Wolves win? Like it's just it's so upsetting, man. They get tied on in the 90th minute. Like come on, man. Against Newcastle. They lose against Newcastle in the 90th minute, and then nothing happens against Bournemouth. Like just nothing. Like just you get a bunch of shots, but only 4 on target. You get the possession, but you don't really do much with it. Oh man, Raul Jimenez, come on, like let's get back to it. Guedes, he's still fighting his footing with the team. I'm glad that Ruben Neves is gonna stay with us. I've got Nunes now, building that partnership, that defense. Hopefully they get their footing, but I'm still upset about losing to Newcastle, to be honest, if I'm being completely 100. Yeah, tying to Bournemouth, yeah, that just sucked. But I'm still upset about how we gave that game away against Newcastle. But rough start for the Wolves, rough start for Chelsea, okay start for United and Liverpool, and you see City and Arsenal topping the table What are you guys' reactions after 5 weeks in the Premier League? As a Wolves fan, I can't say I'm having too much fun. As a fan of the Premier League, I'm definitely having a lot of fun. Like, there's been a lot of good games, so far after 5 weeks. But let me know what you guys think. This has been episode 103 of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. As always, thank you so much for listening to the pod, subscribing to the pod. Just, if you're a casual listener, you listen a couple times, appreciate you too. If this is your first time here, appreciate you too. This is a podcast for people that like multiple sports like myself. I'm a fan of so many sports, and I try to talk a little bit about every single one. And if you enjoy this, just make sure to keep up. I'm trying to be more consistent nowadays. Like you guys see, it's episode 103, so it's not like I've not been super inconsistent, but trying to build that consistency up. As always, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.